Okay, I'm over in Visual Studio, and I'm going to create a new project. And ASP.NET Web Application. Next. And FireBase example. And then click Create. And I'll create an empty. There you go. Now at this point, I want to bring in libraries. So go to Project, Manage NuGet packages. I'll go to the, which one do I want? Probably either one. But I'll search for FireSharp. Now, when this comes up, I want to choose this second one here. FireSharp.serialization.json.net. And notice it says using Newtonsoft.jsonnet. And I'll click install over here. Okay, it comes up. Go ahead and click OK on that. And there's actually messages down here that's appearing. But just finished installing, so I can close that. Okay, so now I'll come over to my example here. I'll right click on that and I'll choose Add New Item. And I'll choose a web form. Click Add. Go to Design. So click the Design here. And let's see. There it is, Toolbox. We'll drop on a couple of text fields. Text boxes. There it is. And drop on this one. And then a button. And this button is going to be to insert. Now, the only thing I've really done so far, Kyle, is I started a new ASP.NET project. I created a web form. And I went into Project, Manage NuGet, if I'm saying that right, Packages, NuGet. And then I searched for FireSharp. And I installed the second one here. Then I dropped on two text fields, text boxes, and a button. And I guess I need to maybe have a result too. So I'll drop on another text box. And I'll call this first one TF underscore first name. Or not first name. Name. This one I'll call TF underscore age. This one I'll call TF underscore result. Now I'm going to double click the button. What FireSharp allows us to update FireBase, which is the Google's online database. So I need to bring in my usings. Was it FireSharp dot config, using FireSharp dot interfaces, using FireSharp dot response, and using Newtonsoft dot JSON, I guess. Okay. So those are the four we have at the top. Those brings in all of our libraries and everything we can work with. Now down here in our partial class for web form, I wanted to define the configuration to talk to the database. So FireBase config, and let's call it config equals new FireBase config, and semicolon here. We'll talk about this first part here in a minute, but authorization secret equals blank, and then base path equals blank. And then down here, we want to declare FireBase client. This is the client that's going to talk to our FireBase. So that's making that connection. The config is what allows us to connect it to the database. Like, how in the world do we know which database to connect it to? Now, if we go over to FireBase, I think I got a lot of this memorized. I got my little cheat sheet here just in case, but I've been working with this all afternoon. Pretty easy, actually. And so if you go to firebase.google.com, you do have to have a Gmail account to sign into this. Then you go to console. Of course, it might seem fairly easy to me because I've been using this for Android Studio for Android apps, and I've also been using it with Xcode for iOS apps. So I'm getting a lot of practice with Firebase. Once this comes up, you want to click Add a Project. And Firebase yet again. You put in some kind of name, click Continue. And I'll go ahead and click Continue here. Now for this select account, I did that and I just chose default account. You probably don't even need to turn on the Google Analytics since we're testing, but then I click Create Project. Then I'll click Continue. And I'm going to sneeze. Maybe not. Excuse me. Okay. Let's see. What do I need to do? Go to the database option over here. And there's a create database button right here. So I click create database. Then I click on the start in test mode. Then I'll go ahead and click next. That Firestore location's fine, so I'll click done. Okay. Now, let's see, where do I need to go? Oh, this source says Cloud Firestore right here. We want to change that, and we want to change it to real-time database. So all I did was click it, and I'm going to choose real-time database. Okay, and then when it comes up, you see this HTTPS, and then whatever your name says. If you click that, then you can right-click on it and do a copy. This is the base path. So this is where our database is located at. So I'll come over my base path here, and I'll paste that in. And then that's our URL. Now our authorization secret. Let's see if I remember where that's at. Oh, settings. Project settings, I think. Yeah. Okay, it's coming back now. Service accounts. I click that. Maybe I'm lying to you. Well, project settings. Oh, there it is. Database secrets. So I click database secrets. And then down here, you click show. And here's a secret. And I can click this copy secret. This is our authorization. Anybody could have this URL, especially since I'm doing this in a YouTube video. The authorization secret would be what would keep it, assuming I wasn't recording in YouTube, would keep it a little bit more secure. Okay. Now under our page load, this is where we need to make the connection to the database. Here I'm going to say client equals new Firesharp dot there it is, FireBase client, and we're passing in the configuration from above. That's what we create up here. You remember when we covered the interfaces, the I, earlier in the course? Well, that's what this is, interface. into the Firesharp database or FireBase. Um, Different terminologies kind of thrown me. Now that's really all you need right there. But we're going to do a check. If it is not equal to null, then that means it worked. So tf result.txt equals connected. So again, this is what connects our application to the database, and then it returns the client. If it's null, then it didn't work. If it did, then it's connected. Let me think. I haven't forgot anything. Create my database. Set all those. Let's run that and see. And you see it says connected. So we're now when we run our application, it connects automatically to the database. Now in our insert, we want to take the data that's input and we want to insert it into the table. Of course, we don't have a table, but it creates one dynamically for us, so we don't have to worry about that. Inserting a single record. Var data is equal to new data. I'm going to hit escape because I don't want it to finish that. This is going to be a new class that I'll create. Within here, this is where I want to have my fields. First name equals, no, I changed that. I didn't say first name. I changed it to name equals. It doesn't like that. TF underscore name dot text and age is escape is equal to TF underscore age dot text. Yeah, it doesn't like that. What is it supposed to be? Oh, this is a class. Age is equal to TF underscore text. Okay, now here, if I show potential fixes on here, and what's this one say? Directive. Okay, this generate type data and generate class data in new file. So I'm going to choose that. I'm not sure why I didn't like these though. TF underscore name, TF underscore age. It's right there. Oh, that's right. That's not a method. Okay. Now, what it did over here in the Solution Explorer, it created a separate code file for the data. That's our object. That's our class it created. And if I look at it, so it created internal class data and did my gets and sets for these. And these are actually public gets and sets. So over here, wherever it's at, I could access them directly. which I'll do in one of the examples. Now that right there basically defines data to be a new instance of big data. So now I'm ready to write it out. So there's a one called set response. Let's call it response. And response is equal to client dot set. And this is the name of our table, information, slash, and what do I call it? Name or data. TF. I'll prefer that. I think I should be able to do data.name. Let's see. Data.name. Yeah, I would. Okay, so that would work. I'm using the name as my key into my database, and that's what we're putting right here is the key. And then let's see, what else I need? Comma, and then I need to tell it my little data. And data result equals, I probably won't get to this point, but response dot result as data. I could then do queries based upon that to see if it worked. TF result dot text equals to record inserted. Okay, so this is my set. That creates a new record. This is going out and getting the response back and result as data. So if what should return is that if it works, it'll put the data back into response, and that's why we're writing it back there. It's kind of like, okay, I'm going to insert record David, and then if it worked, it returns David. That makes sense. Okay, if I run that, it's connected over to here. Here's my, go to my database here. Again, I don't know why it keeps reverting back. You choose real-time database. Okay, and now if I put in David Hayes 54 and click insert, it says record inserted. And if I come over here, you see I got a table called information. That was the first part of our piece right here. This is your table name. I like to think of it as table. They call it by different names. If I expand that, then I see I got David Hayes. This is my key. And the key comes from this right here. And then the data that I insert comes from the data here, which is from that right there. And I'm going to show a different way of doing that to the next example. Questions on that? Okay. Now that was inserting. So let's take a look at updating the record. Oh, it's still running. That's wondering why my items hadn't come back. Let's see, toolbox button, add that on there. This is going to be to update. The idea here would be they put the key into the first text box, and then I'll update the age. Okay, so let me do this a little bit different. Up here, var data equals new data, fill data equals new data. Okay, so that's just our typical create an instance of it. And then if I do data.name equals to tf underscore name dot text, and data.age is equal to tf underscore age dot text. Now, this is our standard way that we've seen it, but in the process, everything's public, so you can access these class variables directly. Let's see. FireBase response. Okay. What have I done wrong? So response is equal to client dot update. Now, a lot of the stuff you find on C# says you should use this asynchronous option, and these should be async for these methods here. I could not get that to work with ASP.NET, so I used update, and it seemed to work fine. First thing we put in is our table name, the information, and then a slash, and then we want to do a plus that concatenates on, and tf underscore name dot text. This is the key we're going to change. And then I'll do a comma, and we're passing in the data, which is our instance of that database fields we want in there. If that makes sense. Okay, so then data result is equal to response dot results as data, and tf underscore result dot txt equals to record updated. Let's see. Here's my response. I said a set response up here. I wonder why I use FireBase response. Because it's I looked up the documentation. FireBase response. I suppose because it's a different type of operation. Where this is a set, this is an update. Okay, so let's run that. Now, you notice we still have our one record here, David Hayes. Each time I do insert, it adds a new record. So I come here, I click insert. You see we got Frank Hayes here. Mary Hayes, insert. And so you got Mary Hayes. Okay, so let's say I want to update David Hayes. I come here, put David Hayes, and I put in 88. Now keep in mind, currently the age is 54. So I click update, record updated, and we see it's now 88. Okay, so that's our update. Now let's do a find. So I need a button for find. And text on it, say find a record. The idea here is I'll put the key value in my first text box, and then I'll click this, and it'll find it and put the age here. Okay, so let me think. I need a new instance. I don't think I need to create an instance, but let's do that. Try to remember if I. Okay, so that's gonna be our data that we'll return. Let's see. FireBase response equals to client dot get. Well, that was weird. Information or in table name slash plus tf underscore name dot text. Then I'm going to return it to data. Except for FireBase response, I think it'll return it to that. I don't think I should put data there. No. So it should return it to response, and data is equal to response dot results as, what goes in here? Data. Oops. Okay, let me think this through. Because remember, what this does is it when you fire up the response, if it works, it returns the record, and then you can access the record here. It just dumps it back in the result. We don't actually do anything with it here. Now this you could even comment out. If you're not going to actually check it, then there's no use to even really have that there. But here we're going to do something with it. I should just do data result. Okay. So then, so that's what I'm returning. TF underscore name dot text is going to equal to result dot name. TF underscore age dot text is equal to. Why doesn't it like result dot name? Well, that's nice. Zoom bombed off. not explicitly result. Result.h. Okay, I'm gonna look at a little cheat sheet now. I'll try to follow the pattern then. Response equal client dot get information slash name. Then what else do I got? Data, I call it OBJ. Is equal to response. OBJ dot name. TF underscore name dot text. FireBase response equals client dot get information slash plus that TF underscore name dot text data OBJ equals response dot result as data. Data of command object to string. Explicit conversion exists. Are you missing a cast? To string? Okay, so let's run that. Find a record. And finds 88. Okay. Oh, weird. Programming a little bit different than I did before, but I don't think I put the .to string on there before. I'm not sure why it's forcing me to do that. Now. But let's take a look at delete the record. And I call this one delete. Double click on that. And let's see. I'm not returning data. I could. Well, no, there's no data returned because you deleted it. Never mind. Answer my own FireBase response is equal to what was it? Client dot something. Client dot delete. And information is the name of the table. Was it slash? And TF underscore name dot text. That's our key. And then result dot text equals to record deleted. Okay, so that's gonna be our delete. Keep in mind our records over here. I'm going to delete Mary Hayes. So I'll put in Mary Hayes, click delete. And over here, you see the record is deleted. Now let's take a look at deleting all the records. Okay, so drop another button on here and change text on that to delete all the records. And double click that, and I'm going to cheat. Copy that, paste that. Difference is of course we don't need a key on there because we're not deleting a specific record, we're deleting everything, and I think get rid of the slash. And that would be all records deleted. Okay, so come over here. We got David Hayes, Frank Hayes. Click delete all records deleted. And I come over here. It doesn't actually, this is the weird part of it, it doesn't actually delete the table. Table's still there. No, it did delete table. Never mind. Okay. So what do we got? Insert, update, find, delete. Next thing is we're going to take a look at how to bring back multiple records. Of course, we have to insert some, but okay. I'm going to drop them into a list box, I guess. So drop a button on here. Find all records. And list box. Drop on there. Make it a little bit bigger. Give it a name. I'll call it LB underscore records. Okay, so find all records, and this time I'm going to use my cheat sheet because this isn't easy like the other ones. It's not hard, but a few steps. So FireBase response, we still need that response, and response is equal to client.get, as you might expect, and now put in information there. By not putting a key on there, it goes out and it's working with all of the records. Now I don't know if there's a limit to bring it back. Like if there's 50,000 of them, I don't know if it will cause your computer to crash, but it bring back like a set of them. And let's see, data object is equal to response dot results as data. And then I'm going to declare a JSON as response.body. Now here's where I build a dictionary so I can access the values. So I have a dictionary, and we're going to have a string, and then the data. Data is your name and age. String is the key value that's connected. And then we're going to let's see. Cheating. I'm looking at my cheat sheet on here. EList is equal to JSON convert. JSON convert. Dot deserialize object Dictionary, string, data, JSON. In a nutshell, this is taking our JSON, lowercase JSON, that we did here, and as our response, our body of our response that came back from this information, which is basically all of our records. So this is creating a dictionary, so we can browse through the dictionary. So I'm going to have a for each, and this is going to browse through our dictionary. Key value pair, string data. Do I want two of those? Let me think. One of those. Actually, I think I'll teach you here what we did. Entry in eList. Now at this point, I'll do lb underscore records dot items dot add, I think, yeah. And what's it in? Entry dot name. Well, I don't see name for each and eList. Okay, let me see. Look at my sheet. Where's that? Entry dot value. Value dot and then name. Why is this toString? I must have done something different in my code than I did last time. I didn't have to do the .toString. Now when it does value, well, there's first off, in your dictionary there's two values or two items here. One of them is your key, that's your string, and the other one's your value. That's the data. And so when I refer to the value, that's accessing the second part of it. Dot name refers to, of course, name that's defined in my data class. And then, let's see, tf result dot text equals records received. Of course, I need to add some records before this will work. So let me see. David Hayes 54 insert Frank Hayes 58 insert. Now if I click find all records, it comes back and returns those. Now my goal would be that I could click on here and it would return the value and put it up here. So that's my idea. So I need to do a little bit different. You can't program the mouse click on a list button in a web page. So we're going to have a button below that. And I'll call this search. And let's see, I double click that. I want to go up here to my find. Where's my get? Connected, record inserted, record updated. I didn't have a result here, but tf result.text equals record retrieved. Okay, I'm going to copy this because I'm going to use about all that code. Come down here to my update, or not update, search. Okay, now I need to give that a name, I guess. So No, it's got a name. LB underscore or something. Records. Okay, so I need to get a search string. Search string is going to equal to LB underscore records dot selected by gets a value of the selected item returns a, okay, I think that's it. I'll get that, and then instead of this, I want to type in search string. So that'll be whatever I have selected there. I think that should work. Famous last words. Let's run it. Click my find all records. Got those. Let me add another one. Mary Hayes. And I didn't clear my list box. So this is going to do something bizarre. Insert. Because if I do another find all recs, and does that, of course. Okay. That probably, it'll still work because I'm referring to the value. But if I click like Frank Hayes and I click search, then it returns that. If I click David Hayes and click search, returns that, and so forth. So how do I clear the list box? Let me think. Okay, this is where I'm loading them. So up here, I want LB underscore records dot clear dot items dot clear. Is it a method? It's a method. There we go. That should work now. Okay. So if I click find all records, comes up with that. And now if I put Harry Hayes 20, click insert. Probably insert would be nice if they updated this, but click find all recs, and you see it doesn't have that duplication. That's weird order put in. Looks like it does alphabetical order by default. Choose David Hayes, search, and so forth. Now just since I really didn't do anything with these up here, let me just mention them. Because I return this. Let's see how to program it. Because I don't think I did that earlier. I'm thinking if I do a result is not equal to null. Do I want insert? No. Record updated. How about if I don't find a record? Okay. So if result is not equal to null, I'm hoping that's the case anyway. Oops. I don't need those. I just got one line. Record updated. Else tf result.text equals to record not found. There might be other issues that could occur. Okay, so if I put what in here and then a search, find a record. Blows up. Object reference not to set to an instance of an object. Oh. Record retrieve. What was I doing? I was trying to program update. Okay, let's try that again. Try to pay attention this time. Okay, I want to update what to this. So I click update. Well, that's no good. Now, what Android Studio does is when you do an update and the record's not there, it creates it. So let's see if that's what this is doing. Yeah, sure enough. So how in the world would you program the update correctly? Probably do a find first, and if it doesn't find it, don't update it. If it finds it, update it. Well, I'm not sure if I have time for that, but let's see. Maybe I do. Where's my find? First, I got to make sure I know how to do that. Insert a single record. This record not found. What's this one? Record retrieved. Okay, so let's make sure that I can do that. If response is not equal to null, that means that I found a record, in theory. Else, tf underscore result dot text equals not found. Okay, find a record. Huh. Okay, not set to an instance of the object. So what is response equal to then if it doesn't find anything? Body is equal to null. Or exception is not equal to null. Okay, let's change that. I could probably do the body and then put quotes around it, but let's try this. Dot exception. Okay, so find a record. Not found. Perfect. Okay, so I want to steal this code. That's my find. Where's my update? And then my update here. Var date equals new data. I set that equal to that. Okay. So here, I want to do my find. That's going to look the data up. And then if the data is not equal to null, that means I found it. I copy that. Paste that in here. Don't need to declare a response again. So I got that up above. I think I can reuse it. Okay, so then that'll go off. That'll update my, and then return the result here. Now I shouldn't need to even query the result because I went and did a find first and it found it. But I do need to print something out here. tf result.text equals record updated. And not found. Okay, get rid of that. So again, what I'm doing is I'm doing a get first to locate it, and then if I find it, then I want to do an update, in theory. Okay, so update, not found. Perfect. David Hayes, 100. Not found. That's not good. It's not updating it. Yeah, something's wrong there. Why is it returning an exception of null if it finds it? Debug, start debugging. David Hayes 100. Click update. Okay, so I'm right down here. Response is null at that point because I haven't run it yet. Run that line of code. Which one is it? Show next statement, step into. I'm down to here in response. Exception is still null, but body. Well, that just stinks. Why is an exception equal to null? Because there is no exception? That could be. But I guess I want to query body. Body is not equal to, and I think I can do strings this way. No. Okay, let's try one more time. $100, and I'll click update. Record updated. Let's see if it did. I did. Okay. Probably means that I'd want to go back and change my other one. Wherever that was at. So instead of checking this, I probably want to check, what is this anyway? Record retrieved. Check the body. Make sure it's not null. Let's run that just to make sure. I want to retrieve a record. Put D in there. Find a record. Not found. Perfect. David Hayes. Find a record. Record retrieved. Okay. Now, that's where I wanted to get to. I didn't get all the error checking in there because I'm out of time. The final project will be for you to create a web application actually in ASP.NET. So what you just seen me do, your table, I wanted to have 8 records. 8 records. Yeah, I wanted to have 8 fields, columns. So I just had 2. I had first name and I had age, but I want you to have 8 different ones. You don't have to have another table. You can just have one table. The next logical step would be for us to link this to another table, showing how you do it like with a one-to-many or one-to-one link. But I want you to have all these capabilities there. Insert, update, find a record. You should be able to bring up a list of all the records that are out there and be able to search on it like you saw me do. Now I want it prettied up some. I made this pretty sloppy, but make it a page that you would give to a customer, so they'd know exactly what in the world this blank is, and so forth. But that's gonna be the final project. The due date on that is 2 weeks from today, so on 4/30. I will be on 4/23 to answer any questions you might have on past projects. I won't help you in the final project. You can still turn anything in from the beginning time, so if you haven't turned in a project, you can still turn it in. I'll also be online on 30th, so if you need me to open up any drop boxes, then I can. But that's the final project, is to create a database application. in ASP.NET. Uses a little bit of everything that we have talked about. You could even use some of the string capability we had. We used interfaces here, so a lot of different classes, a lot of different concepts that we've looked at. We're kind of integrating here at the end into a ASP.NET project you would deliver to a customer. We'll go ahead and call it quits there. I saw you didn't sign back on, Kyle, but I don't know what's going on with Zoom, why it disconnected. Maybe you never even got connected in the first place, but I apologize for the issues that are happening with that. Go ahead and stop recording.